All right, you're welcome back. Now it's time for us to take a look at the front pages of the national dailies so that we'll let you know what is happening. Let's bring in leadership and communication strategist, Dotun Ojon. Dotun, good morning.
Good morning.
It's Happy Monday.
It's Ministry of Men Affairs.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's how it is today. Now, it is only in Nigeria where every week, every weekend, every month, there's always a happy weekend,
yes,
happy Sunday, happy Saturday, happy new month, happy, so happy new month.
But there's a difference between Happy Monday and Happy Weekend.
Oh, yes, there's always a difference.
Doctor, there is also a sense in which that has similarity with the way, people of this region, greet. Eku Joko, Eku Kaleo,
Eku everything. All right, let's get on now. I think you
all right, let's begin with the Punch newspaper, and the Punch begins with the direct primaries of the APC. It says APC State Chairman Oshomole on collision course. Simple.
Yeah, it's very simple. When this issue of primary started, I knew it's going to cause problem, not just within APC, but within all the political parties, at least the major ones across the country. And this has always been the practice, because the man at the helm of affair will always want to have his way. But again, the majority of people, depending on what is the political state of each of the states, because there are some states now that have issues with direct primary, there are some that have issues with indirect primary. But I'm thinking in my head that as a national political party, being a government, you should have the courage to come up with one paper guiding both the national and the state. If you had come out with one simple rule, nobody would have contested that to this extent that we're getting.
All right, rather than saying that the president, the rule for
the president is different.
Yeah, presidential candidate is different
from governors.
Well, Buhari accuses media of uninformed reportage of farmers' herders crisis. Is that what it is?
No, it's not the first man to have come out to say that. We have had it over the time, and even if you look at the political situation around the world today, there's seemingly a war between the media and people in power. Why? Majorly because the people in power, in some cases, do not want to hear the truth, because they say truth is always bitter. And secondly, because the media people here and there also have interest. So most of the times, because of the peculiarity of our nation, you see that people playing up their personal interest above the societal interest. So Buhari is not the first person to say it. But again, we cannot deny the fact that there were killings here and there, and the killings were reported. And government at the point was not doing enough to stop the killing.
Well, as far as letting the people know what is going on is concerned, the president, we have always said it here, the president and maybe his handlers have not been able to communicate properly to Nigerians the way it's supposed to be. And when it comes to reporting anything that happens, why not? If it happens, you blow it up. But there has been call here and there for the media to tone down so that you don't either incite the people or for national interest. They've been pleadings to the media in that regard.
You see, I think I have to go with you on that, because when you give the opportunity, when you are not talking, you have only given the opportunity
for speculation,
for people to
all manner of conjecture.
Did not, I doubt whether they've even got it right. There were a lot of silence here and there on sensitive national issues that the government
The president has even been accused by Nigerians that it is when he travels abroad that he makes a very strong sensitive statements. So what do you expect?
So I think at every point in time, those that are governing, they should put the national interest first, and even the media people don't unnecessarily play up your emotion because of any political gain, so that at least we can have a nation called Nigeria.
All right, another interesting headline here: Buhari's men plot acting DSS boss removal, Southern leaders kick.
You see, there are some stories that you hear and you know from the beginning that they are necessary at this point in time. And I can tell from here that there's no truth in that story of somebody plotting. People may continue to plot, but I do not see this government descending so low as to removing somebody and bring back, what's the name of the man that was sacked. It will not happen. I can sit here and tell you that it will not happen in this government. There's no offense in politics for people to scheme. People will continue to scheme, but let the scheming remain at the background. And I don't want it to come to the forefront.
But people may
by
make
reporting this, we are indirectly bringing it to the forefront. And this is the major problem we had with Boko Haram when it started. We are bringing unnecessary things to the forefront.
Yeah.
It's sad. I do not see this government doing all this, in all honesty.
But again, in all fairness, just as you mentioned, well, we do not see the government, going as low as, trying to bring back someone that was, asked to go, to leave his position. But again, people may make reference to the issue of MENA that the government, tried to bring into, bring back.
Well, the government said they didn't know anything about it.
All right, so we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Let's move on.
All right,
now.
Unfortunately, Pandemonium as 100-year-old Delta Church collapses. Very unfortunate.
It was a sad one.
Yes.
Over the weekend.
I think my advice to some of these Orthodox churches, because they've been here for so long a time, is to carry out tests on some of these buildings. Integrity tests. Because I'm now afraid for the Catholic Church in my village. It's been there since I can remember. There was an incident that happened. I took interest in one particular school in Lagos that we were going to refurbish and renovate it. And the state government had to do an integrity test. And it was discovered that the school was built so many years ago. So they had to advise that, no, we cannot do anything on this. And I know the government has pulled the school down now, building another one. So churches too, especially the Orthodox one, should carry out integrity tests. This is a matter of wisdom, not spirituality.
Exactly. All right, the Vanguard newspaper is where we go next. APC's direct primaries, governors, aspirants move against Oshomole. APC slams governors, others involved, vows to invoke party's constitution. Okay, we've talked about that, so we won't dwell so much on that. Postings, Southern Middle Belt leaders kick as top presidency official summons acting DG DSS. Okay, we've talked about that too. Mutiny, army captain, 70 others detained for trial. Okay, we still have this issue one way or the other.
We will continue to have issues like this if we do not prioritize the issue of the welfare of these men that are fighting to protect the nation. And I've said it, this will be, it's becoming glaring. I saw it on television that mobile policemen were protesting, and many of them did not even cover their face. It shows that they were ready for anything that will happen, because you have pushed them at that point to the extreme. And that's why they are fighting back. Now they are angry with the system, and you are telling me that they will not beat and maltreat Nigerians when they think you and I are the sources of their problems. So government should wake up from, it's not about getting everybody into the military. It's about taking care of those people in the military so that they can continue to have a reason to die for the nation.
Well, it is one thing to say government is not. Another thing is within the system, either the military or the police itself.
It is within the system.
And
because somebody has to peep into the system. If you don't look into the system, you will not know what they are suffering in the system.
Okay. Enugu Airport no longer safe for landing. Southeast governors are saying that. But the airport is undergoing a facelift.
Yes, a facelift. But again, there's what they call parity in government. Now, in a country, I just want to cite an example. In a country where we have 200 people and only 2 people can afford to fly, when you are laying emphasis on refurbishing airport, the majority of the people cannot understand because the language is too complex for them. Now, before we are even talking about facelifting of airport, what have we done to the road that majority of people are using by the day? And I'm not referring to the federal government. Before some of these state government will come, governors will come out and accuse federal government of non-performance. Let us check them. Southeastern part of the country is so backward, not just because the federal government is not investing there, but because some of their governors over time have been lazy. They have not invested enough in their people.
All right. Well, I take that as your opinion as far as that is concerned.
It is my opinion.
Because if you ask the governors, they are doing their best.
Their best is not enough.
They'll also talk about the
peculiarities
of the
Have you gone there lately?
East.
Have you seen and compare what is happening in Southeast with what is happening in Southwest?
Well,
are we continue going to pretend as if the majority of developments we have in Southwest as a product of federal interventions?
The issue there is every state has its own peculiarities, and they will tell you those peculiarities.
It is
but it's all right. Ikiti Transport Union clash leaves 11 injured, 10 hospitalized. Really a sad one over the weekend. Obasanjo queried me for backing restructuring. I think we're still coming up with more revelations. Presidency, mom, CSOs angry as Buhari declines assent to Electoral Amendment Bill. Okay.
All right.
Vanguard newspaper.
Yeah, let's look at the Daily Trust newspaper, and not quite different from what we had on the front pages of the others. APC state chairman back governors on indirect primaries. Well, that's that. We talked about that before. Flood kills soldier, 9 others in Kebbi. Very unfortunate.
Very, very unfortunate.
Of course, what's the ministry again? I'm trying to remember. Came out to say, look, to warn residents
okay,
who
it was
live.
meteorological
yeah,
agency,
absolutely,
yeah.
Agency of Nigeria. That's right. Came out to warn residents who live by river banks to ensure that they moved away. But again, you want to ask, what arrangements have they made?
The thing is that most of the evil that befall men are man-made. We cannot continue to sit here and heap the blame on government. What have you done to the drain line, the drain system in your area? You discover that people, at the end of the day, they just put refuse there. They block everywhere. And because of the madness of the fact that everybody wants to own a house, they build anywhere and everywhere. And we have forgotten the fact that everyone cannot own one. We must wake up to that responsibility. But again, somebody is going to come to blame the government. For example, in Lagos, when I came into Lagos, they told us that nobody is permitted to pay more than 1 year rent. They got fantastic law. But who's executing the law today? There are places when I wanted to live very close to this place, they said I should go and bring 2 years salary. And by the time 2 years rent, by the time I calculated it, except I call everybody in my village, I will not be able to get it. So that is why people go back to the outskirts of Ikorodu to build anyhow. Oh my God.
The dog. Okay. Well, the point there is, everyone has a right to aspire to want to be a landlord. Or
yes, you have the right, but not everyone will be.
Anyway, that's how it goes.
All right.
Are you through with the Daily Trust now?
Yeah, well, no other. Okay, another story here. Controversy over moves to reverse recent postings at DSS. All right, we talked about that before. You go on to the net.
New Telegraph is the next one. Now, APC State Chairman Dare Oshomole, party buckles, asks states to decide on selection. National Working Committee meets to ratify timetable, nomination fees. Buhari, I am not afraid of free, fair elections. Okay, that's... All right, and you still have the picture from the Delta State Church building collapse. 11-year-old boy dies and 11 others injured. It's a sad one there. 2019, Saraki Kwankwaso's ambition unsettled PDP. Yes. Party in dilemma over choice of presidential candidate. Yes.
Sometimes it's very good when you have the entire community supporting you. They may actually be dancing and you will be... But it's going to get to a time that the support may become problematic. And that's what's happening in PDP now. Who will they go with? That has been the issue now. And now somebody may say, oh, that's exactly what happened in APC in 20 this thing. But this is slightly different because these are extremely ambitious people who many of them have been out of government. Many of them want to get back to enjoy the good things in government. And many of them too have been on this ambition and they know that after now, there will not be chance again. Because in a country where life expectancy for men are worse, is 52. And you are living at 70-something, and you want to be president now. If you miss this opportunity, you just need to add additional 8 years to your age. That's whether you'll be able to survive that. So that's why everybody wants to take this chance, and nobody is taking chances with it.
Well, if you ask me, I think with this jostling for the ticket for presidency within the party, that is where you even need direct primaries the most.
PDP has not come out. PDP is very tactical now. They are looking at the direction of APC, praying that APC will make mistake. And one of the things that will cause APC to make mistake is, I'm being careful of what this morning, is the way their national chairman has been talking. I said it the other day that this man will talk and scatter this party. And some of his decisions, you remember when he sat in Abuja and was restating somebody from Kaduna until those people said you don't have the power. So these are some of the things. So they are waiting now. They want to see the loophole of APC and it's very glaring. They will make mistake.
And then they'll
go and write it down.
On that.
And they will now come. Okay. Unfortunately, the mistake of APC may not be strong enough to bring PDP back.
Oh, okay. Well, I also take that as your opinion.
It is my opinion.
Okay. NBS Nigeria's pension assets hit 8.23 trillion naira. And why Nigeria's judicial process is slow, Onogen is saying that, well, those are some of the headlines on the New Telegraph.
All right, very quickly on the front page of the This Day newspaper, we've talked about most of the stories. Backed by governors, APC state chairman move against direct primary. Presidency, all is well with Electoral Act amendment bill.
Okay,
And then
is inside the safe or where? All is where now? Because the way we are looking at them now, with the body language and their mouth language, it is certain that they don't want to do anything with it. But I don't have problem with that. I've always said that our election in Nigeria is not about new law. It's about new logic. It's not waiting for all these political parties. It's just renew our passion to want to do the right thing, and we'll get it right.
We have enough laws for everything.
We have. Who doesn't know that they are supposed to get to the ballot and cast their ballot and go home? But everybody wants to cook a pot of soup. Is that law?
All right, another story here. Jimovia launches new book, and it says, Africa Rise and Shine. That's it now. Well, you remember Professor Patrick Otiel Lumumba did say that, look, Africa has stayed too long as a waiter on the global dinner table. That it is time for Africa to rise up and become a diner as well.
You see, the problem of Africa is traditional. And like I said the other time, our leadership style is about receiving in this part of the world. That once, if you go to meet your pastor now, your pastor is waiting that you bring something. If he comes to you, he's also expecting that you will give him something. So it's about receiving.
It's the same thing with the traditional institution.
Traditional institution. It's everywhere. So we imported that into government. So our government, our governance structure is about receiving. We want to sit down here and go and beg in America. Meanwhile, these people get to a Lupeju industrial estate. Many of them are relocated to Nigeria because they can see what we are not seeing. Everybody seems to be blind because of reception mentality.
All right, we have to leave it here now. Dr. John, Leadership and Communication Strategist, thank you very much for talking with us this morning.
It's a pleasure always.
Thank you.
All right.
Right.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah.
Let's go on a break, and coming up, hashtag end SARS or hashtag reform SARS, which will appease aggrieved Nigerians who have for years now made weighty allegations against operations of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, now known as the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad, after the reform ordered by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. That's up for discussion next, after this time with Assistant Commissioner of Police Abayomi Shogunle and Security Consultant Olade Indiario. Stay with us now.